Hello everyone, this is Eagle. Today we present the top 10 first-person shooters of all time. If you like this video, please subscribe and enable the alarm button to receive new videos and updates. Before we move to show our selected list, let's talk a bit about our selection criteria. We based this selection on, first, the game concept and how unique it is, what that game had to offer to actually leave its mark in the history of first-person shooter genre. The campaign storytelling. Is it a solid story with the required amount of emotions and drama that let you get attached to the game characters rather than just play with faceless names? Graphics and game physics in general at the time of the game release. Difficulty of the learning curve. Game support, updates and bugs, as well as the size of the game community. So let's start. Well, number 10 in this list is Armored Assault 3. Armored Assault 3 is an open-ground tactical shooter by Bohemia Interactive. While the campaign plot is not well written and feels inconsistent, the multiplayer, however, is the best part about this game. Featuring huge open-world maps, the game feels very close to real-world military war experience. The game also focuses on teamwork, where every soldier has a certain role to play. The graphics are good even by today's standards, given the fact that the game was released in 2013. The audio needs some improvement, however. On the other side, the game is considered very complex and has a high learning curve, but once you master it, you start feeling the fun. Bohemia Interactive continues to support the game since the time of release. The game received lots of DLCs and bug fixes. The game also has a decent community with huge number of mods are available. Number 9 in this list, Call of Duty Black Ops. Black Ops is one of the most unique titles in Call of Duty franchise. The game offers an interesting and well-written story that takes place in the 1960s during the Cold War. It takes the player to Cold War hotspots like Cuba, Russia, and Vietnam. The game was released in 2010, however the game visuals and sounds are great as anybody would expect from a Call of Duty game. The campaign is one of the best in the series. The multiplayer offers a very fun and competitive experience and has lots of modes to offer. Even though the game might not be historically accurate, but it sheds some light about the Cold War era and provides an overall thrilling and fun experience.
The war rages everywhere. This is a time for heroes. A time for legends.
Drop it! Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 follows its predecessor Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. And while it might not be as good as the previous title was, the game is very intense and offers a variety of great and iconic missions, such as fighting to retake the White House, for example. In fact, Infinity Ward has released a remastered version of this title along with Call of Duty Infinity, in a move which is considered by many as an attempt to save the Call of Duty Infinity title, which was also considered by many fans as the worst Call of Duty title ever. The game allows cooperative playing and player versus player playing, and while the multiplayer is a bit limited compared to other Call of Duty titles, it's still fun and enjoyable to play.
Light 'em up!
Number 7 in this list is Battlefield 5. Battlefield 5 has a different multiplayer setup than the other titles in the Battlefield series. The maps are quite smaller and the multiplayer gameplay feels less authentic. However, the experience is still very intense, chaotic, and enjoyable. The campaign also is a bit short and feels like it was rushed. It still has, however, unique stories to tell, such as The Last Tiger, a tank led by an ace commander Peter Muller and his crew. This particular story has an astonishing impact, which connects the player emotionally to the tank crew in a very dramatic and cinematic atmosphere. Also the first time a World War II shooter is able to get rid of the common biased conventional stories about Allied only, and dares to tell the story of the other side, in a small diversion from the conventional image that always portrays the Allies as the only good guys in the war. Even if that diversion was small, it still shows that there is no good or bad in the war, and there are always casualties from both sides due to the brutal nature of such war. Number 6 in this list is Medal of Honor Pacific Assault. Medal of Honor Pacific Assault was one of the early shooters that covers the Pacific Theater. The game offers a great and thrilling campaign story, as well as a decent multiplayer gameplay. The game starts from the attack on Pearl Harbor and continues through the war, covering famous battles. The game also promotes squad gameplay, where you are able to give basic commands to your team members and simulate the authentic atmosphere of the Pacific Theater, such as fighting in the jungles and facing endless enemy waves charging at you with knives mounted on their weapons. All of that adds an extra fun to the gameplay. The game was released in 2004. Graphics and sounds are good considering the time of release. Number 5. Call of Duty World at War. Call of Duty World at War is probably the best Call of Duty ever released that covers World War II battles. It's worth to mention that Call of Duty Vanguard has just been announced these days, and it looks somehow similar to the concept of World at War. However, lots of fans believe that it won't even come close to World at War. Call of Duty World at War covers battles from different theaters of the war in a cinematic atmosphere that gets you more connected with the gameplay while being part of a massive attack on Reichstag, or a Japanese-occupied island. It's also worth to mention that this was the first Call of Duty game that adds zombie mode to the gameplay. The gameplay itself is very intense and gives you a sense of adrenaline rush. The magnificent Battlefield 3. It's probably the best Battlefield ever made until today. The game was released in 2011, however it still has great graphics that lives up to today's standards. The game provides a solid multiplayer experience. It also has a very well written campaign which has unforgettable missions. One of the iconic missions is leading a tank charge in an intense and memorable tank battle. And another iconic mission is flying an F-18 Hornet from an aircraft carrier. This provides the player with a magnificent experience as a pilot, witnessing a breathtaking visuals and great original sound and music. Number 3. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. It is ironic how old titles are far more superior than the newly released ones. The reason behind that is a well-written and presented story. This has made Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare is the best Call of Duty ever released in our opinion. Games these days focus on good graphics, but they tend to forget to make a good plot. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 have succeeded to present a memorable story with iconic missions and characters that no one can forget. Although a character like Captain Price, for example, was already available in the original Call of Duty, but it wasn't until Modern Warfare 4 when we saw how this character was evolved to remain, until now, one of the most memorable characters. Number 2. Medal of Honor Allied Assault. Medal of Honor Allied Assault was able to deliver a Hollywood experience similar to movies such as the iconic movie Saving Private Ryan. The game focused on the Normandy landing in Omaha Beach during World War II and the missions that follow that in Operation codenamed Overlord. The game is notable for its great soundtrack, and it has great graphics at the time of the release, which was at 2002. Number 1. The best of the best. Brothers in Arms Trilogy, which includes Road to Hell 30, Earned in Blood, and Hell's Highway. That game deserves to be on the top of the list today. Unlike any other shooter have ever been released, this is the only military shooter that emphasizes the importance of squad members, where you control one or two squads by giving them orders on the battlefield. It gives you the opportunity to use your squad to deploy close combat tactics, and it actually matters if you are able to use them correctly or not. A small battle concept would be based on fixing your enemy using a suppressive fire, and then flank them and finishing them. This is the closest ever to an actual military combat experience we have seen. The squads you control can range from light infantry to heavy machine gun team and even tanks sometimes. The story is based on true events, told in a very cinematic atmosphere, and follows Surgeon Matt Baker and Joe Hartsock. The story is well written to the level that makes you want to shed tears while you keep fighting through the game. All of that is combined with great soundtracks and great graphics even by today's standards. Unfortunately, Brothers in Arms is now dead game, and there is still no clear news whether there is going to be another title or not. Anyway, whether the game is able to make a comeback or not, there is no doubt that this game have made its impact on the first-person shooter gaming history.